Why am I so for the constraints-led approach and seemingly against the traditional approach? Thank you for joining me on this, my journey into the constraints-led approach for BJJ. My name is Sam Battlefields, and today we're going to look at the reasons why I'm seemingly against traditional methods of training since I've started and implemented CLA. There's a backstory, so get comfortable. I started my martial arts journey way back when I was 5 years old. I was getting bullied by a number of older kids, and being that I was first generation Australian, I had no one to back me up. No brothers, no sisters, no cousins, not even second or third cousins. I became fascinated with the martial arts, and of course all the cool things I could do if I was just as good as Bruce Lee. So when I did judo, I was confused as to why we were falling down all the time and not being all like... So you know the story from there. I then started karate. Thought I could fuck with some hooligans, steal the leader's girl, wear a shower curtain. It was the style at the time.
So he took karate and he still got his ass kicked.
It sucked. I was sure that doing just a few sessions of karate would stop me getting bullied, but it didn't. Those fucking 80s movies lied to me. Fortunately, by that stage, I'd had a growth spurt and had changed schools, so the bullying had abated and wouldn't return until the senior years of my high school. Ironically enough, because this time I did actually steal a girl. I was not an easy target though. I was nearly as big as I am now, testosterone through the roof, hitting the weights, prop, second rower, and breakaway in rugby. For you Americans, those are the toughest positions on the field, except for lock and hooker, which I also played, and I'd also started Muay Thai. Don't get me wrong though, I did get fucked up on a couple of occasions, but I took those lickings. I'll skip the next few years because honestly, I went down a really dark path, probably in response to all the bullying. Years later, I found my Mr. Miyagi, Master Lawrence Lee.
So it's angled that way.
Most of his training was compliant, but there were elements of live training that I absolutely loved. I was regularly sparring with a guy that was looking to go pro in boxing, and with the other compliant stuff, I figured if I trained really hard and was really focused, one day I'd be able to pull it off in a fight. That day never seemed to come. Soon I was working at Australia's most violent pub. I saw shit that would make people think twice about venturing out after dark, which of course, for some reason, probably due to the fact that that dark path was littered with hallucinogens, I decided that I wanted to do a martial art for the spiritual benefits and took up Taekwondo, Olympic Taekwondo. My first savage realization of the bullshit that is Taekwondo: compliant nonsense, one-step sparring. This is where someone would throw a punch, stand there like a statue, while the other person absolutely destroys them, in theory, with varying sequences of punches and kicks. And the second savage realization was when we'd be doing Pumse, the Korean version of kata. And there was a high-ranking black belt over from Korea who was inspecting our form. Dude literally comes up to inspect mine and adjusts my punch by less than an inch. Can't even remember whether it's up or down. Like that was going to perfect my technique. Weirdly enough, I did have a spiritual awakening about a year after I'd started also doing Hapkido. It came in the form of, what the fuck are you doing? A, the realization that I could absolutely murder anyone in that gym, and B, came from being introduced to pain compliance as a martial arts objective. From there, I started my journey into martial arts that actually work. Found out more about jiu-jitsu and the idea that you've got to test your technique, and in particular, I found the concept of Matt Thornton's aliveness. I became militant, somewhat similar to what I am now with CLA, in advocating for alive training in martial arts. Everything else was bullshit, hence why I became well known on bullshido.net, back when it was a martial arts website. I'd watch these people doing compliant demonstrations, and with my experience with a very violent world, plus my newfound training regime that included BJJ, Muay Thai, and MMA, I would absolutely clown on those still in the circus sideshows teaching nonsense. Over time though, I found myself looking for more answers so that I could improve. My coach at the time was useless, more interested in organising gangbangs on his phone in the corner than teaching us. That's not a joke either. I wanted to improve my striking, but my southpaw was always treated as a defective orthodox. I'd ask for assistance in a certain position and I'd be told just don't get there, which I thought was sage advice coming from the all-knowing black belt, until I realised it was just straight cunt behaviour. It was just him lording his authority over me. After leaving that gym, years later I felt myself stagnating again, wondering why I'm taking so long to progress. Coach introduced me to CLA. I'm realising that, yeah, the times I've improved are the times when And I look back and I can see that traditional BJJ is becoming the thing it was looking to usurp. Okay, I'll extend an olive branch. It's nowhere near as bad as, say, Wing Chun, Systema, or any of those arts that say we're too deadly to train with aliveness. But there is a dogma, a top-down, I have the answer, I am the source. There's a stuffiness to it. And that stuffiness seems to be infecting outwards. Adherence to strict uniform policy. Weird social media embargoes. Maybe I'm a renegade and always have been.
I play by my own rules, nobody else's, not even my own.
CLA appeals to me because it strips away the bullshit. It reduces the opportunity for someone to become the guru. We're all pulling in the same direction, pooling our experiences, identifying what works in an alive environment. My jiu-jitsu is improved. My striking is improved. My fitness is improved. Flow states are easy to access, etc., etc. Why am I so for the constraints-led approach and against traditional these days? Because it fucking works. If you think that I'm wrong, I'd love to have you on. Go to battlefieldsgrappling.com.au and fill in the form. Everyone else, like, comment, subscribe.